Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner for my Quick Tip Thursday. And this is episode number 82. Now, in a previous quick tip, I talked about using curved scissors for fussy cutting. And I showed you this pack of scissors, but I said I didn't like them. And so I have taped this back and I have filled out the paperwork to send them back to Amazon because they just did not feel good and they kept sticking a lot. So they were not very good scissors. They were about $9. And I think I had mentioned that I wasn't even going to put those in the description box because I didn't feel like I could recommend them. So I went on Amazon and I decided, let me try Fiskars. Well, actually, the reason I did that is my friend Susan told me about her Fiskars curved scissors. So I went on Amazon and I ordered them. And I am going to recommend these. They feel good, they cut well, so remember I told you the neat thing about having curved scissors, like when I'm going to go around here, the scissors just follow around the image. They're really nice to cut with. And then if you had to go inside something, let's say we're going to go inside here, you would turn them over if you felt like you needed to, if you wanted a close fussy cut image, then you would curve them in. Now, again, I'm going to the outside of the curve, so I'm going to go like this. Now, you don't have to switch. You can still fussy cut with these scissors without turning them over. It just, if you were going to do something where, like I said, you wanted it real close, then you could turn them over. But these are really good fussy cutting scissors. So those are in the description box. I am going to recommend them. And so then the next thing I thought for my quick tip is to talk about paper. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up the subject of paper once again, because I did do a video, maybe it was about a year ago, where I talked about, does the paper you use to print digitals, does it matter? And I said, yes, it definitely does. What happened is I had concluded that I liked using my Epson premium presentation paper most of all. And the reason is the color, but then I had also tried this paper here, this PPD, and that stands for, it says over here, Photo Paper Direct. I had bought this paper, but for whatever reason, it wouldn't feed through my printer. And I was printing up Tracy Fox's new kit to use with my Christmas journals, and I had run out of my Epson paper, and all I had left was this paper. And so the reason I wasn't using this paper anymore, the PPD, was because it wouldn't feed through my printer. And I even had to call a repairman because I had bought that paper. I thought it's good paper. I love it, but it wouldn't feed through my printer. And so I thought there was something wrong with my printer. Well, like I said, I had run out of my Epson paper and I was printing this kit for a journal. And so I thought, well, let me just try this PPD paper again. And I saw that red and I thought, wow, that is quite a difference in the reds. of that paper. So I ordered my Epson paper again and it came. And then I started thinking about this paper and I thought, you know what? Let me pull it out and try it again. And so I was looking at the paper itself and I was reading everything and then I turned it over and I was reading this and it said specifically on the instructions to feed the paper in single sheets into any inkjet printer. And I think you have to do that because there's a coating on it. So this may now be my favorite paper, but let me show you images that I printed using all the papers that I use for printing digitals, and let's go over them again. So, first of all, my paper that I use to print digitals when I want a thin piece of paper. This is 32 pound. I use my Hammer Mill premium color copy paper. All of these are in the description box, okay? And so this is what this print looks like with that paper. So then I printed it again with the PPD paper, that paper. And look at the difference in the reds again. See that corner part? So this has more of a burgundy color. This is more of a bright red color. And then I thought, okay, let me print it again using my Epson paper. Now, I use this paper for printing things like for tags and journaling cards because it is 48 pounds. It is a really nice, thick paper. And let me just move these over here a little bit so I can set this down. And let me pull these in. And what I'm going to show you is, you see how that, you can kind of tell by me handling it, the thickness of it, okay? Here is the PPD paper. It's definitely thinner. What did I say? This was 35 pounds, okay? And if I want something on the thin side, then I use the Hammer Mill paper, which is 32 pounds. So 32 pound, 35 pound, not a big difference. But when you go to this 48 pound, that is a big difference. So like I said, if I'm doing journaling pages where I'm going to fold them and they're going to go in a journal, I will use one of these two papers. A tag or a journaling card that you want some more substance to, I will print on this. Now, I may still back it with something, but that's what I printed on. And then the other paper that I use, but really only for printing invoices for my Etsy store, is this Amazon Basics. It's only 20 pounds. It's dirt cheap. I don't even know how much it is, but I'm going to set this over to the side. And it prints okay. It feels cheap. It's thin. Let's see if I turn this over. Do you see how you can see through to that? Much more than the PPD one. And it just feels better in a journal. So if you're going to sell your journals, invest in good paper. Even though it printed pretty good, like this is neck compared to the hammer mill, okay? Almost the same color. It's not the bright red like the PPD or like the Epson paper, but it's just a cheap paper. So if you're going to sell your journals or give them as gifts, buy good quality paper. And then the other thing that I sometimes use is the Epson photo paper. Now, this is the glossy one, and you can see, if I turn it like that, you can see that gloss. I don't use it a whole lot, so that's just another paper that you can use. But mainly, I use these three papers: the Epson presentation mat, okay? And so let's do a comparison of what some images look like with them. Okay, we've already looked at these. This first one with the hammer mill, kind of a burgundy color. The PPD, bright red, and the Epson looks like a pretty good red also. I did not cut off the edges because I will probably print on the back and use them in journals, and it won't go through my my printer if I do that. Okay. The next digital. Now these are from Medieval Mirage, and this is from her. Well, let me look at the name because it's a really good kit. It's called Emerald Green and Ruby Red kit. Jaff does not do Medieval Mirage. She does not do Christmas kits, but this red and green kit was perfect for background papers. Now, on the Epson, look at that beautiful green and that gold. Beautiful. The same thing with the PPD paper. It printed beautifully. Beautiful green, beautiful golds. And it's interesting, on the hammer mill paper, it prints beautiful, but the gold isn't as goldy, rich gold, but the green is more of a Christmas green. So it prints better gold with the PPD, but a better green with the hammer mill. So those are those three images. Let me just move these off to the side, and then we'll look at another image just so you guys can get a comparison. Again, this is from Medieval Mirage's kit, and this is the Epson paper. Beautiful reds and greens, perfect for Christmas. Isn't that a neat kit? Yeah, very nice. And with the PPD, again, very similar. Although I would say this looks more like a bright red. This looks a little toned down. So a brighter red. Again, I think the greens are pretty similar. Maybe that one is brighter. And the hammer mill, again, it just kind of looks dull. I'm surprised. I've always been very happy with my hammer mill paper, but now I'm wondering. I mean, I think if you want that kind of a burgundy color, it's fantastic. It looks great. But if you want a deep red for Christmas, I would use the PPD or the Epson. And let's just look at one last image, again from Medieval Mirage. Now look at these. Some of these almost look like a pinkish color. So the Epson paper here, the PPD, and you can see there's lines here, so I had to clean my printer heads, and then the hammer mill paper. So I'm thinking I need to print the majority of the time on my PPD and my Epson paper. And once I finish with my hammer mill, I'm not so sure I will buy more of it, because this is definitely much brighter and richer color. So once again, that's why I decided to review these again, is these images here from Tracy Fox's kit. This is with the PPD on the left, and this is my hammer mill on the right. It's a much better red. So anyway, you guys, that's my quick tip for today. If you're going to go through the trouble, not trouble, because it's not trouble creating journals, the time. Use your time to create journals. Spend some money on good quality paper to print your digitals. And that's it, you guys. If you want these scissors, they're in the description box also. Go over and check them out. And I will see you guys on Saturday for Slow Stitch Saturday. Thanks and bye-bye.